Welcome to Life Skills, and today I'm just going to make a brief video on what you need to know for your Unit 2 exam. So let's review. So on the left are some matching terms that you absolutely need to know for the test for today. We have stereotype, bias, rebuttal, credentials, consequences, and context. That seems like a mouthful. And the definitions would be the details of the problem, the results of your actions, qualification, formal certificates, diplomas. Number 4 would be trustworthy, highly regarded, honest. Number 5 would be when someone gives information or advice or feels a certain way based on their own experience or opinions rather than facts. And 6 is typecast or labeled. So if I go to the next slide, I've gone ahead and matched them up for you. One stereotype is that typecast or labeled. 2, bias would be when someone gives information or advice or feels a certain way based on their own experience or opinion. So they kind of favor a side. 3, rebuttal would be trustworthy, highly regarded, or honest. 4, credentials would be 3, qualifications, formal certificates, and diplomas. 5, consequences would be the results of your actions, and C, context is the details of the problem. We're going to move on from that slide. Remember, on this test, consequences we've talked about in this unit can be both positive and negative. We typically think of consequences always being negative. That's not always the case. They can be positive as well. So remember that. It's very important. We also went over the reason process this unit, and that's our problem solving process, and it's an acronym. So we have R, that's going to be recognizing that practical problem. E, evaluate the information needed to solve the problem. A, analyze choices and consequences. S, select the best choice. O, outline and implement a plan of action for solving the problem. And N, note your results and reflect. So we went over this. We did a couple of practice problems, I think, in class a couple weeks ago in that recording. There's also a couple, and within the units, a couple of practice problems I highly suggest going over too, because they're going to have practice problem type questions on this exam. So it's going to be important for you to know these steps, not only know the steps, but how to solve just minor practical problems as well. And so some keywords for each of the steps would be like what should I do about it? Okay, you have a problem. Now, what am I going to do about it? E is your factual and valuable information. So you're going to gather this information. A is our choices and consequences. So, making that pro and con list. S is my choice ethical? Is it the right decision for me? O, my plan of action. I've made my decision. How am I going to implement a plan? And N is, did it work? Did my plan work? Was it successful? So other terms that you may need to know for this test is reliable sources. Reliable sources is a tricky one. If you're looking into a medical issue, a reliable source may be on a government website like the CDC. You could look up your symptoms and stuff as far as your health. But if you throw in your symptoms into Google, you're going to get a lot of unreliable sources. The news, it's a reliable source. However, the media is very good at only giving the facts that they want you to see. So remember, sources can be reliable, but they may not give you all the details, all of the facts. So you might have to look elsewhere. So keep that in mind. Invested interest. This could be an example of like a salesperson. They have invested interest if they're selling you something. They have invested time in that product. They know a lot of information about that product and that they're trying to sell to you. However, with that, they're not going to tell you the negatives to a product. If they're trying to sell you a product, they're not going to tell you a negative. They still have invested interest in that product, but they might not tell you all those facts. So keep that in mind. And then value information this would be information that you yourself value, or you may get from friends and families. You value their opinion. So you want to know what they think. Maybe it's you're deciding to go to college and you went onto the school's website and there's a whole bunch of facts on there. So that's factual information, but the value information would be then what is your mom's opinion on that school? You value your mom's opinion, so you want to know what she thinks. That would be value information. And the last thing, I'm going to keep this very brief today. Look under the Unit 2 lesson, the exam preparation. That's going to list in detail everything you need to know for today's test. I have highlighted the main points for today, but you're really going to need to go in there and look at what the exam preparation says and get into more detail about what you should be studying and look over. If you have any questions on Mrs. Brackman, please don't hesitate to contact me via K-mail, or you can always call me. My extension is 3087. Good luck today. Do well on the test. Thanks.